What is good, people? Welcome to the MOTO Machines channel. As you can see, I'm out on the Scrambler VV750 today. I was sent two of these, and this is my first proper ride on the 750 version. I rode the 250 first just because, like eating my food, I eat the bits I dislike the most first, and then I save the best for last. And that is exactly what I've done with this bike. I've had a little go on it. Me and my friend went out on them the other day, and this was restricted at the time. We took the limiter off now, and well, when I was coming here on a nice bit of road, I just did a few tests through the settings. I'll show you that. First gear is doing about 5 to 6 miles per hour. Second gear is about 7.5. Whoa, bit of a difference there. Third gear seems to have pulled me to 17, 18. Let the traffic past. I'm going to try fourth now. Just about 18. Let's bang that up to fifth there. Oh. That's weird. But now fifth is going up to down to 12. That's more like third. It's obviously all the settings are messed up, so that test is probably irrelevant. Let's turn around, because this is always a nice bit of road. Let's just put it in. Right, so we're in sixth now. Right. 24. 7 is doing about, whoa, 26. 27. 8 doesn't seem to have done anything. Oh, and top gear 9 has slowed me down. Obviously someone's been messing with the settings, and I'm not going to bother going out there in there to fine tune it, if you know what I mean. It's not my bike. Spin it around. Lifesaver over my shoulder. That all confused me a little bit. Obviously it needs refining. It's not set up. It's a demo bike. People are just been changing anything they want. Anyway, then I did the top speed test. Right, I just did that test along there, and it surprised me because I'm in 7th, and that seems to be the fastest gear. Bit of wind. I'm not putting any resistance on the pedals, and it's doing about 27, 28. And that pulled me straight up there. It's a pretty strong motor for a 750, and this great big steel frame, which is a bit more bulkier than it needs to be, but it's not designed for that. And also you've got the fat tyres. Obviously that's not going to be as efficient as having skinny tyres. It'd be using a lot more energy. So bearing all that in mind, that is really quite a good top speed, if you ask me. Now quickly moving on to some specs now. Everyone, I only talked about the speed first because that's usually the first question. Now the specs. That's a 48 volt battery, 12.8 amp hour, about 460 odd watt hours, paired with a rear hub, and then I think this might be a Victor display. I'm not sure, to be honest. Now some of the nice touches are the headlight. Apart from, personally, I wish it had a dip light because it's really quite strong. I've tried it, obviously. And then you've got the rear light, That also has a brake light in and left and right indicator. Nice little touches, I think. Obviously you've got the dual suspension. So this really is my first ride, and I'm just going to head off now. I've just come along here for a bit of track and all that. The bike is just so comfortable, it's unbelievable. These fat tired bikes, well, yeah, people say, why do you need the rear suspension? Well, it's just an extra bit of comfort. Now, one thing I have noticed which bugs me a little bit, but it should be able to be sorted really easy. But every time I go to open a gate and lean over a little bit, I seem to turn the headlight on. It's just really annoying. But you'll never tick every box. And this seat, well, what can you say? It's very comfortable. It's sort of cross between a mountain bike and a motorbike. And I've got to say, the mud guards do work really well. Right then, let's get back on the bike and feel that 750 watt motor. I thought I'd have a quick look that way. I didn't really want to go that way. I only really came up here to avoid the, well, sugar. To avoid that puddle and bog patch back there. Some people would say, why do you want that bike like that? Well, not everyone. Some people have certain needs, or maybe they've got an injury and they need to be in certain positions. Now this is pretty upright, nice straight arms, and like I said, it's very comfortable, especially if you're just pottering along on nice little roads and half decent public rights away. This isn't a good example. This is some rich landowner who probably wanted to tell his friends he's got the best right away. Jesus, I just turned my camera off and the gate started opening. Wow. Bit of sightseeing. Some swans. I can hear a digger. Bit of mild cruising, that's what it's all about, and having a strong motor so you don't really have to put in any effort up the hills. It's just plenty. This is gonna not look as steep as it is on the camera. I'm just in third, no effort, it's just cruising up here. This bike, I said before, it's a demo bike. I think it's been beat on a little bit. It's got over 500 miles on. And when it was given to me, it was filthy. Well, he tried cleaning it, but not very well. Whoa. Yes, it managed that hill a piece of cake. Usually I could say 1 being the slowest setting up to 9 being the fastest is what this is configured, but it's total nonsense. 5 is slower than 3 and 4. Anyway, so I think about 7th is the fastest. I'm really glad I was sent this bike. I'm so glad I've got to try one, because now I've got a different perspective on fat bikes. Not saying I want one, but I can see the benefits, definitely. We're just rolling down here at about 23, freewheeling basically. Give it some, Johnny. What can we get with a bit of pedal power? Oh, with a bit of pedaling. 30. A fraction of 30. I bet if you stuck on a 52 volt battery, it'd probably improve the performance a little bit. I said that like I knew something. I've not talked about the brakes much. Well, I think they're EXO brand. I think that's what it said. But I've done a good brake check on the 250 model, which I feel is less used than this one, and well, the brakes work like a dream. You know, sometimes when you get on a bike and it just feels overpowered for what it can handle, but this one just handles it perfect. It's a bit like you can over-egg a pudding, and they haven't quite over-egged this. And I'd rather a little bit of reliability over performance at the end of the day. I think most people would agree, unless you're one of these people who just love fixing everything all the time. So I have a few of those mates. They have it with their cars, blowing up things left, right and centre in their garage on the weekends, and I'm like, oh, I think it's something better to do. Just slow down a bit. I can see a cyclist in front and I don't really want to tear past him. It's tempting. Oh, the motor's struggling a little bit now. This is quite a big hill, but I can pump it up a few gears. Watch. Way to do it. I know. Well, this is a demo bike, and I'm just never used pedal assist. How's it going? Well, it's actually easy, isn't it? It's nice. But this is just, these fat tyres help. Yeah. It's all. I saw you, and I thought I'd just catch up, but there's no effort whatsoever. I do it for pleasure. Yeah. I do enough exercise through the week, so. Yeah, good. You're not electrified. No. Acoustic.
What sort of range have you got on it?
Depends how fast you go, but it's only a 48 volt battery. It should be up to 30 miles. Okay. If you're pedalling, non-pedalling, you probably get 10, 15 if you're lucky, I'd guess. Yeah. And it goes up, well, it goes up. It's a 750 watt motor, although it's restricted to 15.5. It will just keep strong. I could carry that speed right up this hill if I wanted. Yeah. I'm just testing it out, really.
It's pretty good off-road with the rear suspension.
Oh, well, I wouldn't really go off-road too much, but on these sort of trails it's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
But you wouldn't want to go downhill in Wales for the weekend, put it that way.
Go left.
Alright.
Cheers, mate.
See ya. So, I'm sure you could see there I was stop start on and off the power. It was every time you touch the brake, obviously it's got brake sensors, and it was cutting the motor, and it was having to pick up from where it left off, and I didn't struggle at all. It's a little bit warm. That is a mile climb. I only turned the camera on for that last segment, the main bit of the hill, which is now, and let's just try it. If I was in the right gears, that would have been a bit easier. She pulls, and if I had a fully charged battery, it would pull up that hill a lot stronger. Something else I just want to mention, because I forgot, but obviously this being triple clamps means your turning circle's slightly restricted. It's not a problem, but some people would pick up on that. So, my first initial thoughts and impressions then on this bike, as this has been my first proper ride. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised with the power of the motor. You know, it's got a nice top speed, it pulls you up the hill really strongly, and it's got a lot more torque than that 250. You can just feel that grunt from pickup. It's very comfortable, it's easy to ride, it's got some nice safety features. Now, being honest, this is the first time I've ridden a 48 volt bike. Before that I rode the 36 volt, but all my other experience has been on 52 volts and upwards. So it's been definitely a good learning experience, and I'm quite surprised with the performance from the smaller batteries and hubs. And being the fat kind of tyre bike it is, that is also a learning curve for me. And again, I'm all for it now. I really understand what these fat tyres are about. I actually don't really have any issues with it. I don't know. I know you can never tick every box. I said that anyway. But I really don't. All I can think of is a couple of times when I've stood up to try and pedal and turn around, I've actually hit my knee on the top here. But this bike, I will give it that it's not built to stand up and pedal flat out on. It's a cruiser. And also, I wouldn't really go doing some downhill mountain biking on it in Wales for the weekend. I don't think it fits that category. So all that's left really is the street cruiser stroke smooth byway operator. So riding this kind of bike, you can really absorb your sort of surroundings. Do you know what I mean? It's a comfortable ride. Another thing, see, this is what I find difficult doing my first impressions and thoughts, because I forget things. But as I was riding earlier, I was thinking about the handlebars. Now, I was first thinking that because they're quite narrow, that they're going to feel a little bit like you haven't got much control, or it wouldn't turn easy. But that wasn't the case at all. That wasn't the case. In fact, when I brought the bike out and I had to squeeze between the two cars off my drive, usually I have to kind of lift it over a wing mirror, but this, it just went straight between them both. And it actually made me pick up on this point of these narrow bars, is that if you're in the streets and stuff, or live in a cul-de-sac and it's short of space and you've got to get out between cars, well, it makes the job a lot easier than having my DIY mountain bike. Not sure if I mentioned, but this is apparently adjustable. I know you just have to tighten that up and it'll make it more firm. But it's, well, I've not had an issue with it. It's done what it needed to do. I can't complain. All that's left for me to do now is start heading home. I've got a nice little bit of a ride downhill. I'll put that in at the end, but I'm going to thank you, especially as you got this far. If you've got any questions or comments, then please add them in the comment box below. I hope you enjoyed this upload, and thanks for watching the Motor Machines channel today. dandelion then. Well, it didn't feel very comfortable knowing that was there. I gotta say, at no point did I feel unsafe when I was coming down that hill, and the bike definitely didn't feel unstable. In fact, it gave me confidence, which worries me. It definitely goes fast enough to hurt yourself.